Welcome, fellow car enthusiasts, to a journey through automotive history. Today we're diving deep into the heart of classic American engineering with the iconic Ford Flathead V8. The Ford Flathead V8, often simply referred to as the Flatty, was nothing short of a game changer when it burst onto the scene in 1932. Back then, most mass-produced vehicles relied on inline-4 or inline-6 cylinder engines. Ford decided to shake things up. They introduced a V8 engine with a displacement of 221 cubic inches, marking a shift in the automotive landscape. This engine not only offered more power, but also made V8 technology affordable to the general public. If I had been alive during this period in time, the thrill of being one of the first prospective owners of a V8 engine during a period in time when no such technology existed would be like no other. The very first car to feature this groundbreaking engine was the Model 18, which soon earned the moniker Ford V8 after its new power plant. This was a significant leap forward in American automotive history, as overhead valve engines were still a rarity at the time. What made the Flathead V8 truly special was its accessibility. It brought the V8 configuration to everyday consumers, and the automotive world took notice. The engine was designed to power big passenger cars and trucks. The Flathead V8 enjoyed a remarkable 21-year production run in the U.S. consumer market, longer than the Ford Model T engine. Its simplicity, robustness, and potential for customization endeared it to hot rodders of the 1950s. The hot rod culture embraced this engine, and enthusiasts found ways to enhance its performance. Aftermarket parts like high compression pistons, camshaft upgrades, and even overhead valve conversion kits allowed for even more power. In fact, the Flathead's influence reached far beyond the United States. It found a home in France, where Simica used it until 1961, and in Brazil, where it powered Simica Unic Marmon Bouquet military trucks until 1990. The engine's simple design, featuring just 3 main bearings for the crankshaft, led to impressive power gains with budget-friendly modifications. It wasn't uncommon for modified flatheads to outperform inline 6-cylinder engines. One interesting design feature was the placement of the camshaft above the crankshaft, similar to later pushrod-operated overhead valve engines. The exhaust ports, however, had to navigate between cylinders, which posed cooling challenges. Overheating was a notorious issue, especially under heavy loads, like in trucks or racing. Inadequate cooling systems could lead to cracked engine blocks, but these challenges didn't deter the hot rodders. The Ford Flathead V8's influence wasn't limited to street rods. It made its mark on the battlefield too. During World War II, it was initially used in the prototype of the Romanian Marsal tank destroyer before being replaced due to its limited power. Now let's explore some key components that made the Ford Flathead V8 a legend. The crankshaft development was pioneering, initially forged from steel. Ford transitioned to cast steel, which was both strong and cost-effective. The unique 3 main bearing crankshaft was remarkably durable, even under rough handling. The engine block itself was a marvel. It featured a monoblock design with all 8 cylinders and the crankcase cast in a single piece, a revolutionary mass-produced technique that made it accessible to the public. Another remarkable aspect was the use of high oil pressure for lubrication. This not only enhanced performance, but also provided a convenient way to assess engine health through the oil pressure gauge. When it came to exhaust, the Flathead V8 had unique outlets. The exhaust gases were directed downward and sometimes outward. Later modifications allowed for dual exhaust systems with better flow characteristics. As hot rodding gained popularity, enthusiasts went to great lengths to improve airflow. This included relieving the engine by removing material between valves and cylinders, porting the inlet and exhaust passages, and polishing sandcast surfaces. Overhead valve conversion kits were a significant modification, with the Arden heads from Zorro Arcus Duntov being particularly famous. These kits were not just about power, they also solved overheating issues. But by the early 1950s, the Flathead faced stiff competition from more modern overhead valve V8s available in salvage yards. The heyday of salvaging and modifying these engines gradually gave way to factory-built high-performance cars. Today, the Flathead V8 remains a beloved piece of automotive history. It's cherished by collectors and hot rod enthusiasts, keeping the spirit of this legendary engine alive in the world of retro hot rod builds. So there you have it, a fascinating journey through the legacy of the Ford Flathead V8, an engine that left an undeniable mark on the automotive world and continues to captivate enthusiasts today.